So when they came and said, yeah, they want us back over there, man. They real excited about doing an album, blah, 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 blah. I was like, man, I'm not going back over there. I'm not, hell no. So I'm not thinking about it. They done been over there for, I don't know, a couple weeks, a month, or whatever. I don't even remember. I get a phone call at work. Jimmy, how come you didn't get back on the plane? I was like, motherfucker, hey man, fuck you. I ain't heard from you since you hung up in my fucking face. I started cussing this motherfucker out. I couldn't even get, you know how you want to cuss somebody out so bad it's like the words are just getting jumbled. I would just call that motherfucker everything in the book. And then I hung up in his face. And I was like, before I hung up, I said, don't call me no more, motherfucker. Bam. And I hung up the phone, right? So I go home, right? I tell Michelle, you know, I can't remember if I was taking her to work or I had just picked her up. And she had the catering uniform on. She was sitting at the kitchen table. And I said, guess who called me today? And she was like, who? I said, Bernard Rose. She was like, what? Cause he don't talk to me. Like when he was first introduced to the band, and I was like, you know, I was asking Doug, I was like, so when we gonna meet him? He was like, he not gonna meet the band. He just gonna talk to me, and then I'm gonna come and tell y'all what he say. I was like, man, that's some bullshit. Man, what kind of manager that is, right? So he knew, and once I was, you know, contesting stuff that he said and all that, and I think that's why, you know, he really wanted to get rid of me and Jeff anyway, so I knew he'd get rid of Jeff. Well, I'm standing there, and I said, guess who called me today? He said, Bernard Rowe. I swear to God, within 5 minutes of me telling her, the phone rings, phone on the wall. Remember, there's no cell phones, there's no internet. You have no idea who's calling when you pick up the phone. Phone was on the wall in the kitchen, in the dining area. I pick up the phone. Jimmy, blah, blah, blah. And he started talking. I just started cussing his ass out again. Cussed him out. Hung up the phone in his face. And I looked at Michelle and I said, something going on. Something wrong. Like, why is he... This motherfucker done called me 2 times. Now, they over there. Something done happened. It must be something going on with the record company. Want us all over there or something, but I'm not going. And she was like, what you think it is? I was like, I don't know, but it's got to be something for him to be calling me. And he done want to find out my home number. He done got the home number from them for him to call. You just have to realize how crazy that was, because he didn't fuck with me. I didn't fuck with him, period, point blank. 2 minutes later, phone rang. I looked at her and I picked up the phone. And the first thing that came out of his mouth was, Jimmy, what's it gonna take to get you back over here? And I looked at her for a second. I'm never leaving. I'm never leaving here again, and not have a place not to come back to. So, me and Michelle got a place. The rent is $900 a month. I should have said $1,000, but it was actually $750. But I said the rent is $900 a month, and yeah, I can't be going overseas to. He says, well, look, we'll pay the $900. I said, look, man, let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this one time. I said, number one, in order for me to come back, I'm gonna have to have an open-ended ticket. That's the ticket where you can set the return date. So I can be in control of whenever I leave. I said, number one, I'm going to have open-ended ticket. Number two, the money has to be wired into her account before the first of every single month that I'm there. I said, if there's ever a point that I'm over there, I don't care if we're on tour. I don't care if we're in the studio in the middle of recording a song. If she called me, I call her, and she ain't got that money, the next day, the first thing smoking, British Airways, I'm out. I said my ticket got to be British Airways. And love that airline, man. But anyway, that motherfucker agreed to it right then. I said, so I hung up the phone. I said, nah, something going on. Because he agreed to that shit. Now, that gave me the peace of mind to actually to get on a plane, go back over there, and I don't have to worry about where I'm gonna stay when I come back home. The money is going there every month. Bills are paid for. Michelle don't have to worry about anything. So that's how I wind up going back. Well, Doug tells me, yeah, we had auditions. Said Guy, because Guy was paid to do an album. He all this interband politics and shit. Doug said, man, they brought in a bunch of guitarists. He said, oh, the motherfucker. He said they brought in long-haired white dude, probably play heavy metal. He said brought in an Asian cat, a couple other people. He said all of them, they could play. They was, pretty good or whatever. He said, but every single one of them, when they got to the end, the last part of Tormented World, the motherfuckers was like, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I was like, get the fuck out of here. He was like, yup. He's like, the motherfuckers got to the end of Tormented World, and that stumped everybody. And I was like, wow. The end of it's not even that weird. It's just different. It's at the time I was really well. I had two of my biggest influences were Alan Holdsworth and Frank Mbali. So as far as picking, I was using like what Frank Mbali calls speed picking. That's what it came to. Where when you go from one string to another string, you don't do an up and down stroke. You don't stay up and down alternate picking. You would just move down. It's economy of motion type thing. So anyway, the end of Tormented World there's just a chromatic run on a stacked fifths on the top E and A string. It's just kind of it's weird, but I like the way it sounded. So it was almost like a picking exercise. But I guess it's so different from what I guess heavy metal or for back then, because I've heard some really crazy stuff in the genre. But I guess it just stumped them. So that song kind of enabled me to come back, continue on at least for the next year or two. Recorded two albums, did another video. But yeah, that's pretty much the saga of how I wound up going back, and then how I did get the satisfaction of cursing out Bernard Rose like 2 times, like literally. And I couldn't believe it, because like he doesn't like Bernard Rose. He doesn't like put up with and I wouldn't say just like rich people. I don't know a lot of rich people, but I would say just like above. Like he got attitude like he's above where you're coming from. So it's like he's not gonna listen to you. He ain't gonna listen to you a lot. He's not like his thing is like I fucking know everything, and you know what I'm saying. So for him to actually be on the phone while I'm cussing him out, me get to hang up on him twice, and it was very satisfying. So that's how that went down. But yeah, uh, I'll break down more of what happened afterwards and how we wound up getting Doug Wimbish to play on the album and getting on tour with Living Color and you know how things went down after that. There's a lot of funny stories, a lot of culture clash. You know, just young brash Black Americans going over there and just never having been, you know, to too many different cities, much less different countries. But yeah, more on that later.